Wanna play?
Here's Johnny!
I need a bigger boat.
What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Hey everybody, welcome back to Wanna Play. My name is James McKenna, and today we're going to be doing another top 10 list. And this is a top 10 list that I actually have done before, and that is the top 10 leading ladies, aka final girls, in horror. Now yes, I have done this video before. I believe it might have been my first top 10 video I ever did, but looking back on that video, I disagree with my list a lot now. It's changed a lot, and also the video is not very good. So I decided, why not redo it? I've seen many more movies since then, watched so many more final girls just kick ass and survive in just awesome ways, so I've got an updated list for you guys. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. Coming in at number 10 is going to be Kristy Cotton from Hellraiser. Now, if this was just the original Hellraiser, maybe she wouldn't belong on this list, but Kristy Cotton beat the Cenobites and was unafraid of Pinhead, Chatterer, the female one, and Butterball when they were standing right in front of her. And she beat them not once, not twice, but 3 times in 3 different movies in the series. She beat Pinhead. How? How do you do that? Just the fact that she was unafraid and defeated Pinhead and the Cenobites in 3 different movies is enough to earn her a spot on this list. I don't see an argument that wouldn't include her on here. Number 9 is going to be Tina from Friday the 13th, The New Blood. I struggled a lot between Tina and Ginny to put on this list to represent Friday the 13th, but I've gone with Tina because I feel like she's just more kick-ass of a character. I mean, Ginny was probably the smartest final girl, at least in the Friday the 13th series. Like, she defeated Jason in one of the coolest ways, but Ginny didn't drop an entire house on Jason Voorhees, did she? My god, Tina is just insane. She is ruthless. She will stop at nothing to beat Jason. And although the whole way that she did beat Jason, like she used telekinesis to bring her dad back from the dead, was a little bit weird. Just the whole third act of her just beating the crap out of Jason and just putting him through more torment than he's ever felt in the entire series, burning him alive, throwing nails at him, as I said, dropping a house on him. Not a lot of final girls get this violent in their revenge against the killer, but Tina does, and I think she earns a spot on this list because of it. At number 8, we've got Kinsey from The Strangers Prey at Night. Kinsey, my god, is an underrated final girl. Like, holy crap. She takes matters into her own hands in that film. If you don't want it spoiled because it is a relatively new film, skip ahead a few seconds, but just, she is insane. The strangers in the first film were these terrifying people who never knew when they were going to show up, and they win in the end, which made it all the more unsettling to just see them being these unstoppable forces. And to be honest, going into The Strangers Prey at Night, many people, myself included, assumed that the same thing was going to happen. They'd have a valiant effort, but ultimately the characters would die in the end, and it started to happen. They killed the mother, they killed the father, and they almost killed the brother, but Kinsey came in and saved the day. She just completely murdered the strangers and murdered there really ever being a chance of a third film. When she took that shotgun out of the cop car and just went boom! Shot, I think Pinup Girl it was, in the face, and then she was like running over the male strangers. She was She just was so strong and so tough in the film. She deserves a placement on this list. Coming in at number 7 is Nancy from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Obviously, you knew that Nancy was going to be on this list. There are just certain final girls that can't not be on the list, and Nancy is easily one of them. She is awesome. Her opponent might be the toughest one on this entire list, Freddy Krueger, a man who goes after you in your dreams, but she is so smart the way that she pieces everything together and then sets up all these elaborate traps for Freddy Krueger and then manages to defeat him, at least in that first movie. And also, if you want to include Heather Langenkamp from Wes Craven's New Nightmare, she was even tougher than Nancy. The spot might actually go to her even. They are technically different characters, but I guess combining them into one. But yeah, Nancy from 1, 3, and Heather Langenkamp from New Nightmare all are just so superb, like just classic final girls at every turn, and she deserves a spot. Coming in at number 6 is a newcomer to this list, that's for sure, but it's going to be Cecilia from The Invisible Man. Cecilia, I think, deserves a spot on this list. She is so kick-ass in that film. She earns a spot. Her opponent is a guy who you can't see. And she's so determined to kill her psycho boyfriend that she somehow develops an awareness of where he is and manages to pretty much single-handedly and ruthlessly, may I add, kill him in the end. In the original Invisible Man, it took the entire town, like the entire countryside was looking for him, and he only died by chance when he was caught lacking, basically, sleeping in some guy's barn, and they got like the entire police force gathered around to shoot him to death. This one, no. She puts on that Invisible Man suit while at dinner with Adrian, who was the Invisible Man in the film, and just ruthlessly just slits his neck as just one final F you to the man. It is... she is such a ruthless final girl. She is amazing. Number 5 is going to be Laurie Strode. Now, taking all the movies into account, Laurie Strode might not really belong on this list. If you think about it, the original Halloween, she was a victim the entire time and had to get saved in the end. And then Halloween 2, she was just limping around the hospital the entire time and once again, pretty much had to get saved in the end. But what brings it back is Halloween H2O and Halloween 2018. If those films didn't exist, maybe Laurie wouldn't even be on this list or even mentioned on this list, but those movies make her character such a strong and determined and just pretty much lunatic trying to defeat Michael Myers. I feel like H2O does it the best because she's not this crazy over-the-top survivalist character and just really in the end of the film just kicks it up to another level trying to beat Michael with all these awesome ways, and especially the ending to H2O is one of the best endings in horror movie history. Her chopping Michael Myers' head off after the entire third act of them just brawling throughout the school. Laurie Strode is great, especially in H2O in 2018. I mean, come on, how are you going to argue against her being on here? And at number 4 is Ripley from Aliens. Ripley is just like her opponent, once again, is the xenomorph. Like, and not just a xenomorph. In the first Alien, it was just one xenomorph, and she managed to defeat him, which is cool. But in this one, it's an entire swarm of them, like a ship filled full of them. And then in the end of the film, she goes up against the Queen Xenomorph, like the biggest alien to date in the Alien franchise. And she squares up one-on-one to the Queen Xenomorph and wins. She puts on that mecha suit, one of the most badass moments of all time. The door opens, get away from her, you. Oh, it is. She is so awesome, especially in Aliens. Alien 3, she's great as well, and she's also great in the original, and Alien Resurrection too. Alien Resurrection, she's awesome, but in Aliens Ripley cannot be topped. At number 3, this is pretty much like a personal one for me. You might not see her on anybody else's list, but that's going to be Susie from Suspiria. Susie is just awesome. She goes, at the beginning of the movie, she's just basically this innocent girl. She's going to this dance school in a foreign country. She has really no clue what she's in for, and then just weird things start to happen, and the movie just gets weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder. And then it all leads up till the end, where she's fighting a whole bunch of witches, and these witches, may I add, are ruthless. They are some brutal kills that these witches do in Suspiria, and Susie just pretty much squares up to them. Now, she doesn't actually fight any of them. She basically kind of turns the iris and then goes in and eavesdrops on the conversation, but her just going from this innocent girl in the beginning of the film, going to a foreign country, going to this dance school, to the end of the film where she stabs the headmistress, where it's like she's weird. Like, she opens the curtain to the bed, but there's nobody there. And instead of being confused, like, huh, what is going on? She still sees the outline and stabs it anyways, and then she's like running from all these explosions, and just the end shot of Suspiria, where she's walking out of the friggin' building, out of the beautiful, may I add, dance school. Like, oh my god, Dario Argento. I'm not gonna go off on a tangent because I could go on about how good Suspiria is for hours, but just the end shot of the movie where she's walking away, she's running away, and she just starts walking, and then she just smiles at the camera, and then it fades to the credits. Just, yes, that is how you end a movie, and just, she's so great in that movie. Number 2, the smartest final girl possibly of all time, Clarice from The Silence of the Lambs. It's a shame that Jodie Foster didn't want to come back for any of the other Hannibal Lecter films, because I feel like her coming back would have made those films just as classic as the original Silence of the Lambs was, because she was awesome in that film. People don't even realize that Anthony Hopkins and Hannibal Lecter were only in the film for 20 minutes of screen time because of how good of a character and how invested in the movie people are, and how invested people are in the lead character, Clarice. Like, my god, she is so smart. She proves everybody wrong. She proves everything wrong in the movie. She manages to enlist the help of this crazy psychotic cannibal to catch another guy who the FBI had been wanting for, I don't remember, it was like weeks or months or maybe even like years that they were looking for this guy. And she's so smart that she manages to catch Buffalo Bill with the help of Hannibal Lecter. Those are two incredibly insane things and just pretty much unbelievable things that she did in that movie. And I mean, there's a reason why pretty much the general consensus is that Silence of the Lambs is probably the greatest horror film ever made. Clarice is just amazing. But coming in at number 1 is Jessica from I Spit on Your Grave. I mean, it couldn't have been anybody else. She is an absolute psychopath when it comes to revenge in I Spit on Your Grave. Like, oh my god. She murders the hell out of those guys who were tormenting her throughout that film, and she just does it in such a smart way. She convinces like the nerdy one to come hang out with her. He thinks that he's gonna get it in with her, but no. She tricks him into hanging himself. Then the other guy, he stabs in the groin. Like, she stabs him in the groin in the bathtub. Like, that is brutal, and she just viciously murders these guys. Like, she torments them in the exact same way that they were tormenting her in the earlier moments of the film. Just all the build up to her crazy revenge in the third act. This movie is paid off so well. It is the most ridiculous, over-the-top, crazy, insane vengeance that she goes for on her tormentors in that film, and I think she earns a spot at number 1. So thank you for watching my ranking on the top 10 greatest final girls of all time. Where was Sydney, you ask? Well, taking all the movies into account, she really was only the awesome badass as all these other final girls in the first one. Like, Ghostface was just awesome in that first one. It was probably the best one and probably the toughest to defeat. The rest of them, I mean, come on. You got like a middle-aged lady, some guy who was only in it because he wanted a girlfriend. Like, I mean, come on. Sydney probably had the easiest opponents. Her opponents were pretty easy, let's be honest. That's where she is. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts on this video and your ranking of your top 10 favorite final girls, top 10 greatest final girls in the comments down below. You can follow me on Instagram at JamesFromWannaPlay, and if you enjoyed this video, consider hitting that subscribe button. You don't have to though, but thank you for watching this video anyways. Goodbye and good night. Bang.